I know some of you know me, but I'm going to start with formalities and just make sure you guys get to know me, and those that don't know me still get to know who I am. So, welcome in, everybody. My name is Benjamin Komagum, or some people call me Benjamin Spartus. I also call myself Benjamin Spartus. That's my stage name. But what I do is I'm a data analyst, and I also advocate for mental health matters. And what brings us today for this session is a campaign that we're running, and it's called Mental Health and Me. It's a campaign that is looking at promoting healthy minds for positive living. Because of the fact that there's a lot of myths around mental health matters online here and also in our physical spaces, it's very important for us to have a space or a platform where the right information about mental health matters is shared, a space where we can grow together with the knowledge around mental health matters, because knowledge is power. What you know might just be that thing that might help you understand how to deal with a particular situation. So the campaign is looking at awareness creation, reversing stigma, but allowing people who are battling mental health matters, and also those who are supporting them, like the caregivers, to have access to help, to be able to get the desired results that they need, to understand how to navigate this complex journey of mental health, which is something that every single one of us battles at any one point in time. It may depend, mental health challenges may come in different forms, but in most cases, how we tend to deal with them or how we cope with them might have a way of merging. So what we're trying to do is to try and share this information out and help ourselves grow. Yeah, that's a quick brief introduction to what the campaign is about. And Trini, I don't know if you are comfortable to talk about the outline for the campaign.
Welcome everybody, welcome. Clary Bear is in the house. Welcome everybody. As Ben was saying, this session is a bit different because we're trying to share our information and the resources. When I refer to resources, we talking about information that surrounds mental health issues and the challenges that we face. Yeah. So basically, the campaign was designed to bring awareness that surrounds mental health issues. Bless you, Viv. Bless you. So Ben asked for an outline. So this mental health awareness campaign is designed to bring awareness while supporting the reverse of the stigma that surrounds mental health issues, both for the patients and people that support patients. For example, the caregivers, family, friends. Educating the public will assist in reduction of all forms of stigma, and bringing awareness and introducing simple and accessible modes of therapy, for example, music therapy, dance, horticulture, etc. These are free and simple methods that can be transformed into coping mechanisms that would bring some sort of relief. Yeah. So basically, we will have uh, the campaign is divided into 3 cycles. 1 second, guys. So cycle 1 would be mostly about identifying what mental health is and how to develop the best approach when dealing with it, whether as a patient or as a caregiver. Cycle 2 would outline like coping mechanisms. So the first part of cycle 2, there is a self-love journey. It's a very short one. It's very simple and straightforward. It means that it can help you find or make sense of what is happening. Yeah, so it's a self-love journey that we will take you through in maybe one session, but all the supporting information would be online on Benjamin's page, YouTube, and all the platforms. I believe he would have it up on. Yeah, that would take you through the second part of cycle 2 would focus on the coping mechanisms, which is we have outlined music therapy, yoga, art, etc. And cycle 3 will just be a review of the campaign, and we close with a digital event. So it's a very short campaign, but we have designed it in a way where we can make the best of the least amount of time we have to share on this campaign. Ben, I've lost my document.
No, it's all right. Yeah, so that was a quick, outline on how
I shared it to you.
Yeah, the cycles would be. And Trini, are you gonna add on, or do you want us to go to the next?
You could continue.
All right, so
that was
today. So when we talk about mental health, I know at least some of us have an idea about what it is. So in the back of your mind, you could. I know you guys are not in the boxes, but you could think about what your understanding is around what mental health is. What is mental health to you?
So you're asking them basically to answer that question for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
What does mental health mean to you? So at least from my understanding of what Ben is asking, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's as if you're hearing or somebody talking to you about mental health. When you hear mental health, what does it tell you? How do you feel about it? Yeah?
Yeah. How do you feel about it? But also, we just want to make sure everybody at least has a proper understanding of what mental health is. Then we can then understand how it affects us, or rather how we look at it, right? John says mental health includes our emotional, psychological, and social well-being. It affects how we think.
It does.
True.
It refers to our psychological, social, and mental health. Well done, John. Well done.
Mm-hmm.
But even though it refers to those aspects of us, the question was directed to you as to how do you feel about it? How do you accept or deal with a topic on mental health. Exactly, Clary. It can. So let me just read from a little piece that we had here that we have prepared, yeah? It says this campaign is designed to bring awareness and understanding on mental health matters, how it affects you, and how to deal with it. Awareness has the ability to reverse stigma, allowing the already vulnerable to access help. Many unattended cases end up in undesired results. This campaign says there is hope in the approach when dealing with these situations. So it is it's just like an informational hub where you could come, ask questions, share perspectives, because mental health affects us differently because we are all different and we process information differently. Therefore, the way in which it will impact each one of us, it will not be the same. And because we have a different, let's say, preferences in life, what may help relieve my stress may not help you. So this is where the importance of identifying what mental health means to you and how it does affect you. Only then you can actually make an effort to find what works for you. And it may not be one thing. It may be many different things that comes together to actually bring that relief to you. So what we're trying to do is really help each one of us identify what mental health is and where we are at this point in time when dealing with it. So that's why Benjamin asked, what does it mean to you? No, you don't have to tell any one of us the answer, but you need to answer it for you. So my advice is to get a little book, and journaling does help people. It does help. As much as it may look simple and irrelevant, it does help. So you could start with just answering simple questions. And you would notice later down in the campaign, we're going to need that information when you doing you, when you sticking your pieces together. Because you would now use these as guidelines in setting your boundaries, setting your goals, setting your direction. So just a bit of advice. If you intend to participate in the self-love journey, it would be nice for you to start taking notes from now, because you will have something to refer to when you need those answers.
Yeah. Journaling is very important.
It is. It is. And that is because you miss your old self. Your old self is still in there. She is still in there. You just need to access her and bring her out. I mean, the conditions are not the same, but she is the same.
All right, so the question was, yes, what is mental health to you? I mean, the definitions around mental health sometimes can help us understand what mental health is to us, right?
Yeah.
Because it starts from that understanding that you might then have a definition of or an understanding of what mental health means to you. For example, there's a lot of myths around mental health. Like when in certain communities or in certain areas, when you mention mental health, someone is going to think about something bad, and yet when you're mentally healthy, you're healthy mentally, right? So there's been, for example, a misunderstanding of what's a challenge related to mental health, and then what mental health is, for example, and how you define what mental health is to you can help you, first of all, accept certain things, but then also understand how to deal with them. If we look at, for example, the definition that John said, it can give you like an idea. For example, those that may be struggling to just put that together, right? It has to deal with how you handle, emotional, psychological, your well-being, right? And like because of these kind of things, it can help you have an understanding of, what are the things that then would affect how I handle, say, my stress, how I handle my relation to others, how I handle, how I make healthy choices, right? Because once you personalize these statements that make what mental health is, then it helps you place events, emotions, and basically parts of who you are, of yourself, where they have to be, and then put the pieces together and solve the puzzle or puzzles. So another important question that we need to be asking ourselves is why? Why is it important for us to be healthy mentally, or why is it important for us to protect our mental health, right? Because once we can answer the why, then we can answer the how. Most times, it's not just when it comes to mental health, so it's almost with everything. If you have a reason behind or a drive for you to do something, it helps you figure out how to take the small, simple steps. And even when you say fall down or stumble, because you have it at the back of your mind, what you want to achieve or where you want to go, that vision, that mission, or whatever you can call it, that goal can be the in between whenever you fall down and you feel like maybe taking this journey is not worth it. And those kind of foundations that you set for your journey, for your mental health journey, are very important, because then they determine the success, but also they determine how many times you are not going to give up, based on where your focus is or where your eyes, where you're looking. Is it? I know, for example, mental health challenges may come in different packages, and at least I'm very sure, like most of us in here can agree that mental health matters are a collective responsibility. It's not something that only specific people go through, but we all might be affected by a mental health challenge at any one point in time. It doesn't matter what it is, or it doesn't matter whether it's permanent or temporary. Mental health matters can affect anyone, right? And because of that, why I keep stressing on that is because if there's anybody out there that might feel that it's okay for them to look down at someone that is battling a mental health challenge because they probably feel that they are not going through a mental health challenge, it is wrong, because mental health matters, can affect us all, and the triggers vary for each and every one of us. John says, but the challenge of overcoming past trauma is very difficult to reach. Yes, I mean, I never said it's easy.
Process.
It's never easy. Yeah.
It's a process, but it starts with you. It starts with you. And yes, even the triggers are dealt with in the process, because the process helps you identify the triggers before these reactions come. So we already know that anxiety, which leads to depression, is based on a proactive approach. We wait until the triggers happen, then we get anxious. In order to reverse that, sorry, it's a reactive approach, my bad. Yeah. In order to reverse that, we need a proactive approach. We need to identify the triggers and find coping mechanisms to reduce the stress that is around it. Exactly. What people fail to realize, Clary, because she says some people take advantage when they know you are struggling mentally. Yes, they do. There are people who just build that way, or they just choose to be that way. They're not built that way. That's a choice. That behavior is a choice. They choose to be that way. And again, we cannot help somebody who doesn't want to be helped. Yeah, but what they forget is that we are all at risk for mental health issues. As long as we are alive and we have a brain and we live in under the everyday conditions that the world face, we are at risk. Not because it's not visible. We just ignore it. And this is one of the reasons people take it for granted, because it's not something that they can see. Human nature is designed that way, to believe what they can see. What we do see is the impact when it has already happened. Correct, it can happen to anyone. The lack of information, it can deny a patient the right support. So it will deny them socializing, it will make them, because the lack of information brings stigma. And it will force them into isolation, and that's not the part you want a patient to be. You want them to be able to reverse what they're feeling. Because, guys, it's something mentally. It's there mentally. Yes, we can't see it, but it is there. The same way it got there is the same way we could reverse it. We just need to know how to. This is our brain. We are in control. Yes, there are cases where they need medical attention because those cases are so far gone. But if we could stop it before it reached there, you may never need medical attention. Bless you, Rex. Yes, dedication. It's all around the effort we put in, guys. It's looking at ourselves. We have to look at ourselves as an investment. What we put in is what we will get out. If we don't put good quality stuff in us, we cannot produce good quality stuff. So if we ignore our mental health, as Benjamin was saying, mental health falls among some of the three, let's say the three top most important levels of consciousness or forms of consciousness, which is your physical, your mental, and your spiritual. Yeah, but let's focus on the physical and mental because it has a direct connections. It is equally, think about it. If your leg is broken and you do not see about it, and it would eventually be amputated and you'll end up with one leg, what would that do? It will stop your mobility. It will take away your independence. It's the same with mental health. If we don't balance these levels, once we have these levels balanced, we would be well-rounded humans. We can make informed decisions. We will be in full control of who we are and where we want to go and how we intend to get there. But when we battle with mental health issues, it means that that capacity or that let's say let's envision it like a bar chart. Yeah, so that bar would be very low, whereas your physical would be somewhere hanging around and your spiritual would be very low. But if we could measure balance all of them on the same level, that is where our goal should be, because at that point we would be in control of where we are and what we're dealing with. So mental health is very important when we look at it from that perspective. It also has a direct impact on our how we deal with everyday issues, how we deal with relationships, friendships, how we interact with people. It has a lot of influence on the character that we are or we portray ourselves to be. So taking control of that, it is a proactive approach.
True.
Benjamin Spartus.
Benjamin Spartus. Yes. So I'm going to speak like someone doesn't assume we know this, but if we do, what do you think some of I mean, mental health matters don't really have a cause, at least that is known to mankind, but they are factors or events that, for example,
that contributes to it.
trigger.
Yeah.
Yes. Does any of you want to maybe try and share any of such kind of triggers? I know, of course, most of them may have to deal with some of the experiences, whether as a child or as an adult,
Yep.
or other different kind of factors. But
I see it from a general perspective, because when you think about it, everything in life brings some form of stress. Let's think about money. When you don't have money, you have to think how to get it. That's a stress by itself. When you get it, you have to study how to spend it, because you need to spend it in the best way. That's a stress by itself. And when you have enough, or let's say you have a good saving amount, you have to study how to protect it, because people would look to come and take it. So no matter where we are in life, challenges will always come. And the inability to process and understand maybe the situation or a solution, that builds a level of stress that when it reaches a certain point, it starts to bring anxiety. And after the anxiety comes depression. So it's a domino effect, people. So for me, I would always say, Start from the top. You know, find a way, because each one of us will do it differently. How we approach, it's all in our approach to life, our understanding. Once you get that approach down, and you okay, you're human, so you must stress a little bit, but you have control to cap where you don't go further. Oh, you
That's
don't need
right.
to share anything unless you are
Yeah.
ready, Bex, because sometimes we share things before time and it just
Mm.
become worse.
Yeah.
There will come a time when you will be able to speak about it properly without having, of course you will have the memory of it, but the emotion that accompanies that memory, it do not have to be so raw. So give yourself time, it will happen. You just, in this time, you need to take your time, this time that you're taking to heal, and invest in you. Self love, add value to who you are, because your uh, situation or your experience doesn't define you. If it did, you would have been gone with the time it has been gone. You're much more than that. You're here today. Babe,
Sorry, Becky.
a year is nothing. Bex, it have some people who will overcome it in shorter time, and it have people that take their own time. People who have the correct support will overcome faster, because they understand that they have to keep in their reality, they have to process the information. If they could do something about the situation, they do what they can. What they have no control of, they just cannot stress over it, because you're just investing your time, your energy, your mental space into something that you cannot control. So once you get that, babe, you give it the time, and one day at a time, one step at a time, that day will come when you could share that story, but it's just not now. And you will find reopening that wound over and over and over. It really, sometimes it does help. Hi, Charles. Sometimes it does help, but again, remember, what may work for me may not work for you. So if you find that reopening that wound and talking about that situation over and over, it doesn't get you in a better place than you were, let's say, 2 days before, 3 days before. And this is where the importance of journaling comes in. Because if you cannot recall, let's say, what you was feeling 2 weeks ago, if you wrote down exactly what you felt, you could turn back to that page, and now you can compare your progress. Okay, I was feeling like this back then. Okay, even if it's just one step forward, you can see that progress, and that really gives you the motive to move on for the next day. So journaling is important, guys. You can, after, let's say later down the road, you can look back at your own journey. Big
And
love, Bex,
also,
big love.
um, as as we focus on, every single way. Okay, John. As we focus on every single way to try and, you know, improve our mental health, um, we shouldn't let the fact that sometimes we are not able to achieve it in the time that we expect to achieve it make us feel like the efforts that we are placing towards achieving that goal are useless or pointless. Sometimes everything happens in the right time. I'd like to believe. And it just, sometimes um, we need to be able to understand something in a particular way in order for us to actually close that door. And it might, it's not the same just like Trini said, it's not the same for everyone. There are some people who maybe the challenge that I might be going through, they might not go through it the same way. Some of them are quick to rebound when it comes to a particular challenge or a particular stress. But while others might not. And why mental health matters are collective responsibilities, because nobody can champion everything. And that's why sessions or support groups or support networks are really important, because then you interact with people that might have probably gone through the same thing that you've gone through, but maybe handled it or dealt with it differently. And that way, they might share with you something that might help you either speed up the process or develop a thicker skin to do what you may have not been able to do before.
Or as simple as it could even broaden your perspective. Because remember, when you're going through a particular situation, you often feel like you're alone there. You're not aware that somebody was there before and how they dealt with it. You're caught up in that moment. So when you have a social network or a support system and you can share these things, it allows you to share perspective. It may even enhance your approach, make your approach, better, so that you would have, as Ben will say, a faster rebound.
Yeah.
But remember, everybody heals in their own time.
Hey, you're welcome.
Sniper.
Yeah, everybody heals in their own time. And guys, remember, it's already close to an hour now, but this is why we have these interactive sessions. And this first stage is just to warm us up, to make these conversations as comfortable and as okay as we can, to share but also learn.
We're trying to
from each
remove
other.
the stigma that is around it, to make everybody going through a situation or may have had an experience and want to share that experience again, because it's about the approach. And if we could get everybody to pay attention to what is going on and apply what they feel is best in their situation, maybe it's a step forward. Maybe after this campaign, everybody have one step, or maybe one person may be in a much better position. But it's all to share perspective. Make it comfortable, make it normal. Because mental health issues can affect anybody. Any demographic, age, gender, it doesn't matter. The same way, when we do something wrong and we publicize it and we say, okay, whatever it is, and you give detail how you did it, step by step. You're teaching somebody else how to do the same wrong thing by following the same steps that you did. When we have a good experience, when we have been through something and we have championed, and we may not be out of the woods, but we're not far from, we see the light at the end of the tunnel. And we share these experiences, it helps the people who coming behind. The people who could follow the same way in the bad example, you could do the same thing in the good example and have a positive outcome. To every positive, there is a negative. If we could adapt and understand how to reverse that for us, we will be okay. Exactly.
Yeah.
So when you want to open up the box, or what's your, I don't know, I'm just asking. Well
Yeah.
said, Bex. Well said.
We can open up the boxes.
Have the family
Yeah.
come up and we could discuss anything around what we spoke about earlier on. Or if you want to share something, feel free. If you're not ready to share, there is no pressure. That time will come when you'll be able to share. But for now, even listening, it helps you.
It's never easy, guys. It's never easy, but remember, the reason as to why we have this support network is to give you this, to at least add a little bit of courage and hope to that. Remember, most times, some things are not achievable because maybe we feel like we can't at the moment. But if you, like Trini said, like if you understand that you're not alone, you actually have people that are not just there to be with you and take advantage of you, as maybe certain people may have. It changes your perspective of how to deal with life or how you look at it. Hey, John.
All right, Benjamin, how you doing, mate? Hi, Trin.
Good. How are you?
Hey, John, how are you?
Living the dream.
Oh, bless you.
Interesting.
Oh, Clary Bear. So today I'm happy you all was here, at least to hear, where we going with this. Of course, I would appreciate some feedback from the family because you guys are the reason we do this.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
Hi.
Welcome.
Hey, baby girl.
I posted some books what I got from Miranda House in the family chat.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
We'll have a look
Nice.
at it after.
It's about how to manage stress, making sense of mindfulness, and how to manage mental well-being.
Nice. That's a good place to start.
A quick question, Bex, have they helped you in any way? The information?
I haven't really been looking at them.
Oh. That's what we was talking about, people. Effort.
I've only just realised that
It's
I've got them
important.
in my drawer.
So now we could take them out of the drawer and go through them, right?
Yeah.
You got this, beauty. You got this. You got this. People, remember you're investing in you. Investments brings value. You're adding value to you. When you fix you, then you can do anything you want to do.
Yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy, guys. And trust me, failure.
It's not easy, but it's doable.
It's doable.
It is.
Failure will always come.
It is doable. Benjamin, Trent.
John?
I didn't want to come to the live, right? Because obviously you're speaking about mental health, and it's something that I personally have experienced through past trauma. I was abused when I was a child. I don't mind telling my story because I've dealt with it, and I've came to terms with the fact that I'm not a bad person, and it's not my fault. It was just bad times, just something that it unfortunately just happened to me, and it's happened to a lot of people. But the struggle is to actually come to terms in dealing with it. Before you actually do, you have to go back and revisit that experience, that traumatic experience, and you've got to sort of stand and look from the outside in and realize whatever happened to you was not your fault. All right, it was someone else's fault because they were a scumbag or whatever, you know. And it doesn't make you a bad person, but it has made you the person that you became today, you know.
Exactly.
And this is the difference between us all, you know, circumstances, stories. You know, I'm sorry, I'm trying to get emotional.
Bless
You
you.
know, I wouldn't have became the man I am today unless I had that trauma, you know. Um, and the thing is, I never came out about it until 2 years ago. And unfortunately, my mother and father had already passed. So I couldn't tell them about it. And I didn't tell them about it when it happened when I was young. It wasn't my mother and father. It was the suit that I followed. It was the group hanged about with, and it was an elder brother
Yeah.
that did it. Um, and you know, I'm a big lad now. You know, I'm, I'm not a tough guy, but I know how to handle myself, and I know where this person is, and I could go and take care of this and try and make myself feel better. But I've came to the understanding that no matter what I do now in the present, it is not going to change my past, and it's not going to define. It will define my future if I do something
It
stupid.
will.
You know.
Well
Um,
said, John.
so basically, if you don't mind me, just saying, the first steps in my journey was actually having the balls. Sorry about my language, but having the balls to actually revisit that experience and deal with it, and actually go through
Yes.
the whole experience without drips and drabs actually hitting me once in a
It's
while,
a process.
of reflection of the trauma, and it will continue to hit you and burden you for the rest of your life until you actually revisit that experience and say, right, it wasn't my fault. It's in the past. I've got to try and let it be in the past. I'm not a bad person. I love who I am. I'm a good person. I need to make the future the best that I can. So don't let the
Correct.
past define your future. I'm sure you've heard that saying before, but it's true. You know,
But it's a
um,
reminder, guys. Some of us know exactly what we're seeing here. They have heard it before. This information is out there. But we're
Claire,
here
I love
just
you
to
too.
remind you. Correct.
Yeah, it's. I mean, like I said, I do apologize. I said, man, I did send you a message, Benjamin, not saying that I didn't want to come because I didn't want to talk about it, because I've dealt with it
I
and I've put
know.
it behind me. But if me talking about it with a group of people is actually helping someone move forward in their life, and giving them a little bit of guidance and understanding that you're a good person, you're not a
Of
bad person.
course.
It's not your fault.
It adds value
Um,
to you.
you know that makes me happy as well.
Of course, because you don't know, John, you don't know who is on the FYP. Just took maybe just one line from your experience
Mm.
and going to apply it in their life. And it may make a whole difference for them. You
No
don't
respect.
know.
Yeah, well, I mean, that was the original plan, to be honest. I'm sorry, I don't want to stray off the track, but that was the original plan for
I
me. I
know.
wanted to come into TikTok and help people, and, it's
Well,
just
maybe this
didn't.
is a start for you. It's a
Yeah.
start.
It
Nothing
could
Don't give
be,
up on that plan,
happens
John.
without a reason. Nothing.
but
Today could be
the
that day, a new start for all of us.
true,
It's up to
100%,
us.
agree with you. Everything that you and Benjamin and everybody said, it's truthful, logical facts, and I agree with every single one of them. But my experience and my way of actually getting over the trauma could be different and might not work for the next person. They might have to take a
Exactly.
different route. You know.
Exactly. You have to create. Remember, we have our individual preferences, just as we have our individual approach to any trial or situation that we deal with. So, when creating a coping mechanism, we will have to create it to suit ourselves because we are the only person that using that coping mechanism for that particular reason at that point in time. Only we will have that understanding of ourselves. This is why we included the mini self-love journey in the second cycle. Will help you understand you, the things you like, the things you don't like. Tap into that inner you. Use this time, because time plays a major role in these situations. Because as they say, time heals all wounds. Even those wounds leave scars that will always remind us the emotion that comes with it is not the same as when it had now happened. As John said, you have healed. You can talk about it without feeling that level of anxiety. So as one reason for running away from the conversation entirely, or just blocking out mentally, one way you could describe that is like packing everything into a cupboard until the cupboard doors can't even touch to close properly. There will have a time when those doors going to pop open and everything's going to come all messed up and tumbling out. That is what we call a meltdown. Until you deal with those realities in the past, understanding nothing that you do now can change it, as John said. Until you deal with that, you will not move, or you will not disconnect yourself emotionally from an experience or an incident. So there is a process. John mentioned it while he was talking about revisiting and accepting, forgiving. At the end of the day, you need to be grateful that you are here in this time, this day. Because that gives you the power to do something for a better tomorrow. Remember, do not stress over the things you cannot control. But the things that you can control, do the best that you can do with them. Do something to make your future better. Because time doesn't stand still. It keeps moving. And you will realize situation moves as well. They do change with time. So when you cannot process and deal with what is happening, and you have no control over what is happening, leave it alone. Focus on what you can deal with, what you have control over. And the first thing, you could choose to think about what you want to think about. If things depressing you and flashbacks depressing you and you haven't dealt with those issues, you know you have to deal with it, prepare yourself mentally. You're in control of your mind. You know what is best for you. Prepare yourself mentally and make that approach. Deal with it, revisit, accept, forgive. Start your healing journey and start to fill your cup up, so that when your cup is filled, you now could turn around and pour that into someone else's who needs it. It may not be a stranger that may need it. Maybe one of us right inside here. We don't know. Because all of us run low at some point in time. That is just our nature. But we have to get the art of how to balance it. Oh, bless you. And how has those methods been working for you? The tapping method and ice baths? Try, there are other coping mechanisms. As we said, Bex, one coping mechanism may work for me, and at the same time it may not work for you. If you're trying one and it's not giving you the results, well, of course, it can't be one try. You have to be, practicing it for a while. Because remember, it's the mind we're dealing with, it's the brain. It records patterns. So you can't expect to do it one time and expect a result. So after using it for, let's say, a couple weeks and no change, you could probably consider using another method. For me, guys, I use cooking and a warm shower or a hot shower. So it may not work for you, but it definitely works for me.
The method I use that works for me the most is coming on TikTok and finding someone that you really don't like.
Guys, we will cover expressions soon.
I will
We will
joking.
cover,
I will
John. I
joking.
think I think I need you. I need you in that session when we're talking about expressions, because yes, everybody has the right to expressions and the right to feel what they feel. But remember, it have a word that we need to pay attention to as individuals. It's called responsibility. So we need to do so responsible.
Yeah. So take responsibility when you karate chop someone in the throat and feel better about yourself.
Interesting.
Yes, guys.
Welcome.
Good afternoon, Elroy. Welcome. Today we're talking about mental health matters and how it affects us and why is it important for to bring mental health awareness. There's the two topics we covered today.
Yeah, hey Kiwi, welcome. Also, I think something that I also
Welcome,
wanted to
Kiwi.
maybe add in is each and every one of us have like those instances of those moments where we are ready to share about our experiences or just our coping mechanisms. Do not have the worry or the fear, or try to deal with the worry or fear of it not working for one person. The truth is, nothing works for everybody, right? But then the more you hold back, how you're able to deal with something, what happens to those that might actually benefit from that method that you used? It's the same as me or anybody else or Trini. We can't speak to everyone. We speak to the people that we were meant to speak to, the people that connect with what we talk about. And our approach might be a little bit different from other people, which is fine. And because like people are different, and that's just how mental health matters are as well. They are diverse and they are dynamic, and they keep changing each and every now and then. We cannot stop sharing what we know, what we have done to come out of situations, even when maybe we are we don't necessarily have to talk about share our experience, right? Especially if it is still sensitive to us. But then sharing how you come out of something can be
Benjamin.
The only thing someone is waiting to listen to. Yeah.
Benjamin.
John.
Sorry, I hope you don't mind if I quickly interrupt you. Another thing is everybody that has the trauma and dealing with mental health issues, right? You also need to find your happy place. I know how like stupid that sounds, right? And corny, right? But you need to find your happy place, right? You need to be happy in yourself, all right? Look at me. I've got a smile on my face, but I know you can tell that I'm a really angry person on the inside. But you need to find that happy place and a happy part of yourself that fulfills you, full of joy and basically a feeling of achievement. I'm trying to explain it in the best way I can. But see, things changed for me when I came on TikTok, right? I found people like Benjamin, Trini, sometimes I believe it's a curse and God's punishing me. But I believe it's for a reason that
Done.
these people, everybody here makes me happy because everybody is bringing out the best in me. You know, that's where you need to get to, but you need to achieve that without anything else. You know, triggers setting you off. You know, you don't need to have a fallback like alcohol or something like that because that's just an evil leading to another evil. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And once you find that ability to find your happiness in yourself, things will definitely change, and your understanding of your abilities and what you can do becomes magnified 10 times, if that makes any sense whatsoever. I'm sorry, I try to put it in the best way I could.
Well, you put it well. You put it out well. Yeah. Your happy place saves you from um, the the risk of serving from an empty cup, because your happy space is where you recharge your energy. You know.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
yeah, it's
exactly.
where you release
Charging
that.
port.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Charging port.
Exactly.
Guys, we
So
always
yeah,
need to
find your.
charge because society will drain us if we don't. And this is what this is about, protecting your mental peace. As long as you find yourself and know what your worth is and know where you want to be and how you intend to get there, you will then see the value of people's opinion. And when you realize that it's worth nothing, you would be like, why was I stressing myself all this time? As we will say, you get thick skin. People's opinion really wouldn't matter to you. They can no longer use their words to put a spoke in your wheel. They can't. Taking back that power.
Yeah, man. Big up on the power.
Definitely.
Stephen, afternoon, guys, and good night. Thanks for letting me in. Trini,
Welcome.
one of the things that has bothered me and does still bother me, why is it people of stature, people who have influence would put you through a situation that could cause you to digress? Why would they do it knowing that what the outcome could be? And some of them apologize for it, but they don't change their behavior. When you just said, listening to people and realizing that it's garbage they're feeding you. It has someone real prominent who's probably a millionaire, and I don't want to have not one single thing to do with him because he tried to poach my employees and to get them to come and work for him on the side at a lower price. After he did something like that, as a millionaire, when I saw something like that, it had nothing anyone could have told me to get me to reverse my decision in terms of not having no communication with him again and literally turning a blind eye to his existence. So I'm just trying to understand, why would someone do that? Because people intend to push people to the edge almost on a daily these days, and you may not know what the outcome is because you don't know the level of stress that the person is facing. And
Well,
it's
yeah,
disappointing to me to always have to face people like that.
yeah. In my experience, the simplest explanation is, these people are just evil and very narcissistic, and they love feeding that narcissistic rage that's inside themselves because it gives them pleasure, mate. Sometimes there's not even an explanation for being treated like, you know, you've just been, thrown away. Do you know what I mean? You've been treated badly. Sometimes people just do it just to make themselves feel better because they're dickheads. Excuse my language. Assholes. Sorry, I better leave this live.
No. Yeah, no. John, he put it. He put it out just well. I mean, there may not be like an answer to your question that might, make it any better. But it all comes down to our intentions. Like once one's intention is bent on, seeing other people suffer, that's just how it's gonna be. And sometimes they just might not be able to change. In most cases, I would say, I would think that stay true to who you are, stay true to yourself. Sometimes everything happens for a reason. If someone is poaching your employees and they actually choose to leave, maybe it is their time to actually go. The employees that really know who you are and what you're doing would not be persuaded by someone who's probably offering extra cash, right? So I'm sure Trini will also say something about this. Our phone is probably gone off. She'll be back. But yeah, I mean, we have a lot of people like that in our different settings. And it might be in a physical setting like how Elroy has described, but it also could be on an online space like this. We have, and sometimes sadly, most of these people are in spaces, of course, in places where they have more.
Sorry, guys. Ben, okay. I'm not seeing nobody in the box. Can you adjust it and fix it back how you normally do? Guys, I'm sorry. My phone just... I don't know what happened there. But I'm back. So I didn't really get to hear what Elroy was saying because I was gone. But did you address what he was saying, Ben? Thank you, Clarydale. Okay.
Elroy was talking about, well, he was trying to find out why some people, especially those who are in influential positions, tend to want to be to bring you down, right? So he gave an example of somebody who was poaching his employees, but it was just bad mind to just try and get at his business. So yeah, I think that if I've not really explained it well, Elroy, you could.
I think that's it, basically. If someone's coming in and poaching his business and his employees, it's basically jealousy, competition, somebody that wants to be number one, feels intimidated by a person with a better business, with better employees, and a better understanding of, how it works, and he wants them. Okay. Do you know what I mean? It's simple as that, I think that's it.
So why these people will want to do that, knowing because they don't care about you in the first place? These people in society comes in, it have countless amount of different personalities, and with each personality comes a risk. As we will say in Trinidad, as Elroy would know, everybody have a certain percent of asshole in them, right? So you just have to know. You can't deal with each one of them, giving them, exposing yourself to them without knowing. So you have to trust somebody before you could let somebody even close to you, where they could affect you in that way. You get, if you understand what I'm saying. If anybody, Even if the person not influential and it's just a regular person, and they know they're leading you down a particular direction that's going to cause you harm in any way, to begin with, that person do not care about you. You have no business taking any advice from that person. You get what I'm saying? Because as long as they don't have good intentions for you, nothing that comes from them would have a good for you. It will always end up on the wrong side of the fence for you. Because it was intended that way. It all starts with an intention.
Yeah, and also I think, this kind of people, most times, and which is something that sometimes we don't notice or don't realize, is these people most times want to turn you into them or to make you like them.
Exactly.
Because how do they do this? How do they achieve this? Because of
by
the things that they
provoking
do.
you for a reaction
Yes, exactly.
in their favor.
True.
It's
So you might
manipulation.
want to do exactly the same thing, either to them or to somebody else. So
And once
you
you,
do
and
that
this
now.
is how the mind works. Once we do something a particular way and we get a particular outcome, we will believe that that is the right way to do it every time. Not noticing that there are other ways of getting the same thing or even a better quality done.
Sounds
So
like
this
a
is why
cult.
we need to be careful of these narcissists or people who try to manipulate to take what we have called free will. Because each one of us have that right to our own decisions and our own approaches, because we alone will be accountable for our actions.
Right. I can agree with that. Now, doing the dishes. Today is Sunday. We're not going to clean chicken and thing, right?
You always clean the chicken.
It's Sunday. It's Sunday.
Okay,
So the thing is, I think COVID exposed a lot of people that don't really care and have concern for people under them. For instance, it had some people that couldn't pay the bills because they lost a job or the job had to shut down due to the lockdown, or they would have used the opportunity to lay off people without any package. And I mean, it's Black Friday. Black Friday just went in the States, right? Or wherever sale they had. And people didn't really went out to buy stuff because they don't have the money to give out, because these people were robbed or outsmart. I think what you just said there, they're trying to reproduce themselves, is the exact, like hitting the nail on the head. Because if you think about it, there are levels of manipulation that comes right down from the boss, the CEO, the director, the manager. If they could replicate what they want to see going right down to the person entering into the door, they would do it. And it's only now after COVID, people really standing up now and saying no to this, no to that, not showing up. You understand?
COVID did something good and it did something bad.
It did something absolutely terrible. It took a lot of things away from a lot of good people. Property, houses, cars, relationships, marriages. That's when everything fell apart.
But you all have to remember, before we even start this conversation, we have to all remember that, Benjamin, I am not seeing the box again. We have to remember that COVID is a man-made bacteria or virus, as they want to call it, right? So that tells us that it can be released anywhere at any time according to the control of the people who owns it. that was not done just like that. That had a mission, and the mission was a very dread one for us, the population of the earth. Because it didn't only take away from us, but it helped some of us, including myself, to actually identify their mission. For whatever the reality is, a lot of people die. If the claims are true that they needed to reduce the population of the earth, okay, that box we could tick because a lot of people died. What it also did subliminally is teach us something called individualism. It took away what it was a bridge from the era before to this era we now living in. When the original system teaches us that we are communal beings, we need each other. We need each other to coexist.
Definitely.
They told us
We're pack
the
animals.
man-made system says no, you could do it on your own. You don't need a support system. They have created a whole digital era to show us we could do it on our own. But that's a whole different. Yeah.
Trini, I'm sorry. Can you just sort of elaborate on that last comment that you made? What do you mean? What do you mean?
Okay, so our natural way is to really, Benjamin, we see in all your business anyway. The natural way for us to have a healthy community, a healthy society, a healthy lifestyle, we need to coexist with our fellow men. We need interaction. Yeah? When one of the conditions that they told us during COVID, and this is where a lot of mental health issues was revealed, is when they started isolating us, because that is against our natural way. We need interaction. And then they told us, here's what, you don't need to go outside to interact. Use an app. You will talk to people from all over the world. This is why I said they created a digital system to take away or substitute what the original system does for us. So it's a replacement. But remember, they're replacing it for us. It is a mission. This is just one part of it. It is not completed.
I believe that because why would you make people fearful of other people? Like to exist around them. There are some people up to this day still wearing masks and still waiting for you to leave a location for them to go. And it's sad because if someone would have some kind of bad experience, they would keep it to themselves. They might have an injury or they might.
They use. I exactly what they say, because of a fear. See, that is exactly what they use to keep us where they want us, to condition our thinking patterns, mental programming. They start to use fear, threat of our life. As Elroy now said, after COVID, people still wearing masks because that teaches us that their programming works. That fear is still there. It will give people symptoms of PTSD because they don't want, they're scared to go outside because of contamination. as I was saying earlier on today, this level of this increase, I should say, we witness with mental health issues, it was systematically induced. In the past, we had struggles with it, but the rate it at right now, we cannot compare it to back then. And that came after the pandemic. So it is my opinion, from my observation, that this level of mental health issues that we face globally, it was systematically induced. And if it is left unattended, the intention for inducing it will now be accomplished. Because what COVID, the people that, exactly, Viv, that's what we're now saying.
It did.
So now we left, since it was escalated during the pandemic, we left with the aftermath. We have a lot of people walking around with issues that they cannot cope with. And it is without the correct support systems in place. Because with an increase, how many governments could say that they have implemented a system to deal with the inflow of cases? They don't have enough, so it have more broken people than services available for them. So this is why bringing awareness, being able to identify it, how to access help, even if you have to try your own coping mechanisms, if you're in a place that there is no systems in place to support you, how to help yourself, how to help the people who supports you, your caregivers, your family, your friends, your loved ones, a society as a whole, how to respond to people with these situations, because we have somebody or some people around us dealing with it quietly, because it's something we cannot see. We think it is not there, but it is quietly killing someone right around us.
Yes, people. All right. We've talked about the systems. Of course, we have to be very careful, guys.
Yeah. Guys, it was nobody else, that's just my perspective. That's just my perspective. And as we say, we're here to share perspective. Because of my perspectives, I was able to come up with the coping mechanism that works for me.
If you don't mind
And
me
it would
asking,
be the same.
if you don't mind me asking, Trin, what's your coping mechanism?
As I mentioned earlier, I do get anxiety attacks still. When the first thing I do is have a very warm shower. Sometimes that works, and if that doesn't work, like last night, I get up in the middle of the night and cook food that I know I wasn't going to eat. So, yeah, cooking or warm showers helps with the anxiety. But before, as we know, once we could identify our triggers, when I identify a trigger, most of the time I go to music, listen to music, because music has the power, according to the genre of music that you listen to, it will direct that feeling, or it will bring that energy. So for me, soca music does it. I am a Trini. It's vibes. That brings me out of a depressed mood. So I use that before the anxieties do come on. But if the anxieties do come on, I either do a shower or I cook food that I know I'm not going to eat.
Sandra, I understand. Cool.
Trini, I had shared a video with you with a lady explaining um, talking to yourself or listening to your angels and making a change or not doing something because something prevented you from doing it. And basically, it was like it could be an instinct, so someone called to go somewhere else, and sometimes we defy it and go the next direction that we wanted to go, and we end up in problems. I thought her explanation was on point because people like to deem someone talking to the self, reasoning with the self, as madness, as that person going off. Look, they're talking to the self and they're smiling, and the weird who will smile just for no reason. And the things that we were accustomed doing, figuring out stuff, they're literally making it appear as though that is a mental illness, when that is what is exactly preventing you from falling into severe mental illness.
Yeah, remember, mental conditioning or mental programming is to take away your independent thinking. That is the mission of that. So if you look what we call social norms today, it in certain cultures and even a couple of years ago, it was unacceptable. But now it's acceptable. And if we live our life or we use the same measuring stick that society uses to measure success, if we use that for ourselves, we will never make it. It depends on what success means to you as an individual. So again, once you give people the power of opinion over you, then you really have no control in your destiny or the directions you want to go. And what I believe you was talking about with the angels, guys, talking about angels brings us to faith, but I do believe that we were all created with that instinct. That instinct that we use to guide as what we call our gut feeling. We were all created with that. So not necessarily angels. Some of us trust our gut feeling and we follow and we get through. Some of them, sometimes we trust it and we fail. But again, it's all about the approach, how we deal with things. Because a lot of the times the approach, it has a lot, or if not all, a contribution to the result.
I must say, since I have been doing things to make myself comfortable for the last 5 months maybe, I have been more at peace. Still lose a little sleep in between because you know you're working, you're busy, you have a family, but
yeah,
I have started to focus on what would make me happy, and even if it's going to be out of pocket, I am going to do it. Yeah.
As we said earlier we was talking about that, and self-love, loving yourself is an investment in yourself. And you see that satisfaction, that comfort you're getting is because your cup has now start refilling. When that cup is full, only then you can pour. So you continue investing in yourself. you will know when that time reach where you can share, where you can pour into somebody else's cup.
Hey, Eve. Thanks.
Welcome back,
Yeah,
John.
man.
Welcome back, Sniper.
All right. So,
Hey,
to
Trent,
balance the
Benjamin.
boat. Hey,
Was
John.
it Elroy? Am I saying that right?
Yeah,
Yeah, Elroy.
Yeah.
one Elroy.
Listen, everybody, it's been a pleasure. I've enjoyed speaking to you on a professional level, especially about something so serious and important. But I'm going to have to leave. I've got things to do. But I would just like to say
Okay,
thank you very
John.
much, Trent, Benjamin, Elroy. Thank you,
Welcome,
everybody.
John.
Lots of love, and
John, I
hopefully I'll
want
see
to say
you
I'm very
soon.
proud of you. I am very proud of you, and I'm happy to see that we could hold a serious conversation, at least sometimes.
It is hard for me, Trent,
Yeah,
to hold a serious
yeah,
conversation.
you made it 99%, and I'm
99%.
very proud of you. Yeah,
I
well
can be
done, John.
serious, but I don't like being serious. It's no fun.
I know, but I know it's no fun, but we need it sometimes. Remember, all fun and no work. No, is what is it? Is all work and no play makes Jack a
All
dull
work with
boy.
no
Well, this
play
is not
makes
Jack.
John.
Yeah, a dull boy. So we need some serious, and then we need some fun.
Yeah, yeah.
As
Okay,
Eve said, need a balance. Big
okay,
love, John.
Trent.
Thanks for being here every
Love,
time.
love. Noted, recorded. Okay, I'll be more serious next time. But anyway, listen. Love, love. Benjamin, you take it easy, all right? And I can't wait
Yeah.
till your next set. I'll be front row, cheering you on like the little princess I am. All right, love, love. Take it easy. Good night.
That's next Sunday, John. Okay, guys, I think this should be the wrap up band.
Yeah, this is a wrap. I mean, we already wrapped up, but we wrapped back in, and now we're wrapping up with. We're gonna do some few songs, and we'll call it alive.
Yeah, man. Evie, I
But
see
we do
you.
appreciate each and every one who has been here with us. Those who have probably left. I hope my thanks go to them somehow. But we do appreciate even those that are in here. Remember, the conversations that we hold together are not for nothing, and they don't go in vain. There's always.
I just wanted to say I recently blocked and disconnected quite a lot of people, even from this group. It's just like I'm lately protecting very much my peace, so it's nothing personal. If people around here, some of you are blocked, and watching this, then it's nothing personal. I'm just very protective of my personal space lately, and then I just keep very few people around. And I had 32 people in TikTok only friends list, and Benjamin Trini one of them, because I trust that these two people are genuine people, and then they also been quite supportive to me, so that's why I obviously left them as well. So, but the rest of you who I do disconnect, don't take it personal. It's just like I said, I protect my personal space. That's what I want
No
to say.
problem, babe. And you're entitled to do that.
Yeah. You do everything you need to
Don't
do.
worry about it.
Yeah, because I take it differently. I don't follow for follow. I just do for me, it's more like a friends list, like on Facebook. You wouldn't just accept everyone just because they want to connect you back. You know what I mean?
Babe, you
So
need to
that's how I see
protect
this
your
platform,
personal space. Yeah. And that's everybody.
It's also what
Everybody
videos
have
I
that
came
right.
across.
So don't worry about it.
If it's not motivating me, or I see something which comes constantly on my page, which is not none of my interest, I rather just unfollow the person. Sometimes it's just nothing personal. It's just due to the fact I want to keep my focus to the certain things.
Yeah, and that's a healthy way, Eve, because you would
I do think
realize
it is sometimes
that
you
way
need to
you will be
boundaries.
cutting off certain types of behavior you don't want around you. So nice
Yeah, it's just
approach.
a boundary.
Nice
I
approach.
think it's good. Yeah, each and a while to set quite
Certain
strict
boundaries. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you keep all the negative energy
It's all
far away
good.
from you. Otherwise, once it's closer.
Yeah, and I like how you make this kind of life. That's pretty cool. And then I said I really love your background, because like I said in the comment, books is also good for you guys, by the way. And then if let's say something you feel alone, take some philosophical, positive thinking book, any good book, also can
Some
go a
people
long way.
use reading as a coping mechanism. Some people,
Yeah.
books bring them happiness.
Yeah, books can does bring you happiness if you choose the right book. Yeah, like when I was younger, I used to read like loads, like love read. I mean, lately haven't been reading that much, but when I was younger, like constantly, well, you could see me in library. Like I was even taking too much
can
books, and I said you cannot take that much, you know. I started with comics, like comics when you start, like those you finish pretty quickly. So you could take only 40 at a time, and then yeah, I remember she was saying you cannot take more than 40, and then I quickly finished them and went to take another 40, you know. And then obviously moved on to the books and all.
Oh. Yeah, books are really good. I mean, especially when you get the right ones.
Yeah, I
you
like
can-
about spiritual, not spiritual. No, I would say maybe spiritual. All about this mindset kind of books. I'm not really reading like I mean romance or like how to say, like, and not any soap opera stories kind of thing, but more like something for your spiritual growth. That kind of books, basically.
Oh yeah, the ones that stimulate your thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like those too.
Anyways, I will mute because I will let you to get some songs there and wrap it up like you said. But yeah, I'm glad I managed to join at least the last minute.
Yeah, I'm happy you came through.
Yeah, I was just working today, so I needed to call my grandma back and stuff like that, so couldn't join earlier.
What do you mean you're home?
Yeah, I'm home now, but I just recently finished. So when I see you guys like live, that was like when I just got home, and then obviously, after you get home, you eat, and then my grandma usually cooks me every day, so I need to speak with her for a bit. So by the time everything was done, basically, then yeah, that's why I'm so late here.
Oh no, it's okay. It's all right. It's all right. You finish with what you have to finish.
You missed your what would have been your favorite part of the conversation. We were talking about systems.
Oh yeah.
All the systems and talks like that.
Yeah, we were talking about the original, and but I keep saying that's for another day.
Yeah, I could always join another conversation with that kind of topic.
Yeah. Oh, but
It just doesn't fully align with the Raptor King. We see you with the campaign, so we would just have to have that topic on a regular live.
But Trin is gonna have podcast soon about the system, so
Podcast, nice.
everybody will.
Yeah, you should go for it. I think you would be good at podcast.
Benjamin's photos. what you do? Only know what? Only see put up thing.
Well, even if you said too much, I think you would be great at doing podcasts. Like you have the way.
That's not it, Evie. He just made a promise on my behalf.
Okay. got it. Yeah.
I just saw the future with people. It's gonna happen. It has to happen. It's gonna happen. It has to happen. Yeah. Knowledge is power, like Trini says.
Talk to me nice.
We need to be able to
Talk to me
share.
nice in the comments.
Talk to me nice. TikTok is an studying place. Alright, let me connect my system. We do a couple of songs and then what's the time now? It's been on for 1 hour and 51 minutes. Yeah, we could push for like 20 more. Give me a sec.
You wake up at the end of the session, Raptor King. We had our mental health session this earlier on. We covered what is mental health and why is mental health awareness important, and much more. But
Adapt it also.
Those are the two.
Well, take travels, guys. If you feel like you're stuck or you're like, I don't know, stuck in four walls or whatever, just get out of the house. I don't know, just go for a walk, go with your bike, like go near like Riverside. This also helps massively for mental health. Just like different scenery, you know.
Yeah, nature. It's called grounding. Any
Yeah,
form of grounding.
the river,
Yeah.
anything of that kind is very good for your mental health.
Yeah. I could tell you there was a time, not of course not here in England. I was back home in Trinidad, and it was one of the points in life where, yeah, it was really down. And I remember driving to the beach. It was about 2 o'clock in the morning. I remember the moon being big over the waters, and I sat there for like an hour or a little more. But I knew how I was feeling when I reached there and I sat there. When I got up, I wasn't feeling the same.
It's like you recharge
I
your
was,
batteries. I don't know.
yeah,
Something
yeah.
about nature is it's I don't know. I always go to nature whenever like I want to recharge my batteries. It's the best place. And then back home, I
Yeah.
always have this one riverside where I always go to. Like, and then after that, you always feel somehow better. You know.
Prezzy's in the house. Yeah, it's called grounding people. Some people hug trees. Some people anything to do with nature, really.
Yeah, and don't forget, guys, we come from nature, all of which we done these days. Like, right, all this
Correct.
is bad,
Yeah.
but you should return to nature more, kind of. You know.
As you say, recharge.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Nature is when we need to get back to nature, back to our roots, people. Otherwise, sorry about that. Hope you guys can hear me well, yeah?
Yes, we can.
Yeah,
Cool,
man.
cool. Yeah, man. Someone's eating.
Ask if you was a Trini. You is a real Mako, you know.
I might just be. Yeah, man. Thank you. Thank you so much.
No worry, guys. Both of you, I appreciate you guys. I value you. I like your personalities.
We love you too, Eve. We like your
We
personality.
love you, Evie.
All right. Let's try. Oh, someone's in the box. All right. Oh, John.
Thanks,
Welcome in, John.
that was not John or
Oh, John is on ascent, but Jerome came up.
this half this Scotsman is that John? No.
Yeah.
Anyway, so thank you. Yeah. And hi, Jeremy.
Yeah, man. Welcome. Jerome, welcome, Raptor. Big up on your whole selves.
Yeah, man. Big up all yourself, man.
You're welcome. Niceness. All right, let's try some music. We're good, Jerome. Tomorrow, John, I'm learning your song. That is a promise. But I won't learn all of it, though. I will learn.
Do not make John any promises.
Yeah, that's why I need to
Whatever
clarify the
it
promise.
is.
I won't do the whole song. I mean, tomorrow I'm just going to learn the chorus, and then the verses, we'll learn them another day. Whoop, whoop.
You're getting your song in installments.
Exactly. Yeah, but at least I'll start on it tomorrow without fail. All right. you gave me the first time I saw you. I knew it then and I still know now that my darling, I'll always adore you. Promise me that you'll always be the same person you've always been. And love me whether I'm strong or weak. Say you won't let go, you won't let go. I'm standing in a crowded room, but it doesn't change that all I see is you. I swear that you're perfect. I don't deserve this night with you, with you. In a crowded room, if heaven's a place, then it was made for two. I swear that you're perfect. I don't deserve this night with you, but I'd love to spend my days with you. I swear it feels like you're made for me, by the way that our lips fit together. And when we lay in each other's arms, I could stay there forever. Promise me that you'll always be the same person you've always been. And love me whether I'm strong or weak. Say you won't let go, you won't let go. I'm standing in a crowded room. It doesn't change that all I see is you. I swear that you're perfect. I don't deserve this night with you, with you. Standing in a crowded room, if heaven's a place, then it was made for two. I swear that you're perfect. I don't deserve this night with you, but I'd love to spend my days with you. Everyone knows that all I need is you. I knew when I met you, I never forget this night with you, with you. Standing in a crowded room, it doesn't change that all I need is you. I swear that you're perfect. I don't deserve this night with you. Standing in a crowded room, if heaven's a place, then it was made for two. I swear that you're perfect. I don't deserve this night with you, but I'd love to spend my days with you. Yeah, man. Alright, guys, so this is me saying good night to all of you, and don't forget you guys have to drop fast so that before I end the live. But yes,
Okay,
we
all
appreciate
right.
you.
Don't throw them out. I'm gone. Good night, everybody. Thanks for coming.
Good night. Everybody be okay.
Yeah,
You too.
man.
Later, Jerome, Raptor. The president and the VP are on strike. Okay. All right, guys. Take care. Be safe. Remember, focus on the things that make you a better version of yourself, and don't give up. There is more to life than we know.